up, guys? It's your boy Alex, and welcome back to the Brave Lionheart channel. More specifically, welcome back to the Lionheart Review Corner! I'm not going to go over the top with that kind of intro for when it's a review corner video and stuff like that. But yes, we are back with another review video, and it's a little something special this time. So, if you guys didn't know, or again, if you couldn't tell from the title of the video, which I'll talk about that in a sec, we have actually gotten some update news for Sonic the Hedgehog. More specifically, his sequel movie that was teased at the end of the first movie. And, all we basically got was, some footage of some of the characters with some cool little standees that they did. And confirmation about another character that's going to be appearing in the movie. Like what they did at the end of the first movie with showing Tails as going to be a character for a sequel that was supposed to be coming. Well, now that we got our sequel coming, our next character we got, of course, is Knuckles the Echidna. And I've actually already talked about that in a video before on this channel. But, of course, with the recent updates, I may be confused about something. So, I figured, since we're getting Sonic the Hedgehog 2, I figured it's a good time we actually, talk about the first movie itself. And that's exactly what we're doing today, baby. Sonic the Hedgehog. Released in 2019, although advertised as a 2020 film. Not really sure why they did that. This was another attempt at a video game film adaptation. This time with the Blue Blur himself. Yeah, that actually was Sonic's nickname in some of the comics, and I think some of the video games, I'm not really sure. And, we also had that first trailer for the film with that horrid design of Sonic's appearance. But during the final product, he actually did resemble the character, and that was a nice touch that the company Paramount actually listened to its fans. And surprisingly, this movie ended up getting a lot of mixed reactions. Oh, and I do mean a lot of mixed reactions from this movie. Some people didn't really like how it was, they didn't like how too kid-friendly it was, but if we remember, the games are pretty kid-friendly, like, a lot of kids can play it, considering you're destroying robots and saving little animals, and don't get me started on when it goes into the comic territory, where things can get pretty dark. I mean, they have a whole panel dedicated to dead Sonic characters. Yeah, spoilers who have not read any of the Sonic comics. A lot of characters die. A lot of fan-favorite characters die in that comic book series. Mostly Sonic Universe and the original Sonic the Hedgehog comics. Yeah, Sonic gets pretty dark when it wants to be. But you're probably wondering what my thoughts are on this movie itself. So, without further ado, let's dive right in, shall we? Alright, gotta go fast! Yeah, that's Sonic's catchphrase. It's his old school catchphrase. I'm pretty sure he doesn't say it anymore. But anyway, it's just a term that I'm saying for let's start the review. So, our movie opens up in actually a pretty decent way to get the fans going. You got some old 8-bit Sonic stuff and a look at the company logo, Sega, or as the old commercials would pronounce it, Sega! Or just that little sing-songy voice, Sega! Something like that. But anyway, our actual movie starts off with a backstory narration from the character himself, Sonic, who is happily voiced by Ben Schwartz, who, if some of you don't know, was the voice of Huey for the 2017 DuckTales reboot cartoon, which I've only seen a few episodes of that show, but I love it so much. It's as classic as the original cartoon, with a newer version of the theme song, which sadly is not as catchy, but it's still pretty awesome. Fun fact, Ben Schwartz said in an interview that his goal in life was to voice every blue character that he could find. I guess Sonic was on that list of all blue characters that he wanted. Anyway, we get a little narration of the backstory of Sonic's home world. Though they don't say Green Hill Zone in this, or that his actual home world is called Mobius. Again, from the comics, not explained in the games. If you read the comic series, you'll know his actual home is Mobius. Something like that. But yeah, we just get a little quick little backstory into Sonic's homeworld. I say quick because it is pretty quick that we listen into his backstory. Also, Baby Sonic is in this. Yes. It was kind of a thing back then with, like, baby stuff. You know, you had Baby Yoda, Baby Grogu, Baby Pennywise for some reason. Yeah, I mentioned it on my old channel in a review of It Chapter 2. Yeah, that was pretty terrifying. So, Baby Sonic is just running as super fast as he can through Green Hill Zone and ends up in a treetop with his mother/teacher, Longclaw. And I gotta say, I like the design for Longclaw. Not your typical, like, what every other character in Mobius is, you know, a typical anthropomorphic owl that has gloves like Sonic and pretty much any other character that has been in the Sonic universe. Just a normal, typical giant owl. Yeah, and there's also the fact that we don't get a look into, like, who Sonic's parent was, or his parents, basically. Again, if you read the comic book series, you'll know exactly who they are. But moving on from that, Sonic and Longclaw get attacked. Yeah, they actually get attacked by the Echidna tribe. And surprisingly, a lot of the Echidnas have Knuckles' design. You can see why he's actually going to be the main villain for the next movie. Or maybe like a quick little villain before they team up and go take on Eggman. And who knows, maybe we'll actually get maybe a reveal of Metal Sonic in the sequel? I don't know, maybe not, but moving on from that. So Longclaw and Sonic escape, basically Longclaw sending Sonic to another world with the rings. Which, I want to talk about that for a sec. There is a point in the games where you can use rings as portals. Not sure how that's actually their power in the movie. But it makes sense for the writers, I guess. So, Longclaw basically gets killed off, or presumably dead. But we all know she's basically dead. I mean, until the sequel comes out, who knows. And Sonic has basically been living on Earth for a long time. And we finally get to see him grow up and look at all the things that Earth has. I want to talk about, there's a funny bit in this movie where there's a guy chasing after him, and he drew a picture of him, and it's the Sonic meme. Yeah, I was the only one in the theater who noticed that. My dad had no idea what that meant. But I knew what it was because, hey, it was a meme back then. And apparently Sonic has some kind of weird, fascinating relationship with Green Hills. Yeah, the place he's living in is called Green Hills. Yeah. Oh, sorry about that. Had hiccups there for a second. It's basically called Green Hills, and it's being run by a sheriff of the town known as Donut Lord. Or James Marsden's character. I forgot his character name, which I'll probably have to look it up while I'm editing this, just to remember, because I might forget a lot of the character names in this, so there is that. Fun fact, if you actually have the Blu-ray of this movie, there is a comic that comes with it called The Adventures of Sonic and Donut Lord. At least I think that's the full title. So yeah, Sonic has been basically living on Earth for a long, long time, and kind of feels lonely. Lonely enough to basically have a single solo baseball game by himself. And, yeah. That somehow basically makes him angry and use his speed powers to basically cause an entire blackout to the town. Well, good job, Sonic. You basically did not want to hide yourself, so you decided to show off by making the entire town lose power. Great job, buddy. So naturally, this gets word from the government of the small town of Green Hills, and they know that it's some kind of weird alien something anomaly. There's only one man that they can call. Jim Carrey. Or basically Dr. Ivo Robotnik. Which, fun fact, he later called himself Dr. Eggman. I guess because he was chubby, he decided to just call himself that because it was shaped like an egg. And surprisingly, Dr. Robotnik is played by Jim Carrey in this movie, and I'm going to get this out of the way, but I'll probably mention it again. Jim Carrey's performance in this movie is hilarious. It's basically 90s Jim Carrey throughout the whole movie. Like his Ace Ventura character, his Mask character, all mixed in a blender. It's just that classic 90s Jim Carrey that you miss, and every line of dialogue that he has in this movie is hilarious. In fact, one bit when he's talking to the general, because it showed it in the trailer, he's having this little short argument there, and it's just like, are you in charge here? Nope! Wrong! I'm in charge! And it's just so fun to watch. So yeah, Robotnik is called in to basically deal with the problem that Sonic caused, and brings out his egg drones. Now sadly, we don't get cartoony versions of the Badniks, or even CGI versions of the Badniks in this movie. It's just basically little drones, because I think they were trying to modernize Sonic here, so drones make sense, I guess. Yeah. So Sonic gets word of this and decides, yeah, I'm gonna leave Earth and basically just go somewhere else. In fact, there's a whole bit where he's looking at a map, and you can see he drew out a map, or Longclaw probably drew it out, of a mushroom planet. Now, making you think he's going to the Super Mario universe, which is the Mushroom Kingdom. But no, it's a mushroom planet that's actually on Mobius, and it's a level in one of the Sonic games. I believe Sonic 3 or Sonic and Knuckles. I'm not sure which. I haven't played the Sega games in a long time. But yeah. Sadly, this plan does not work, and he gets caught by a Donut Lord. And Sonic meows like a cat, because it was a line in the trailer, and he gets shot with a tranquilizer dart. Yeah. Not really sure how that was planned out, but it worked. So, of course, Tom, yeah, I had to look up James Marsden's character in this movie, his character name. Tom basically finds out about Sonic and learns a little bit about him before Robotnik shows up again. And, yeah, there's a whole bit where he's looking for Sonic and he almost kills him, but Sonic pops out, Jim Carrey screams in a comedic way, and James Marsden knocks out, Jim Carrey. Yeah, that must have been a fun process to talk about. Yeah, I'm gonna need you to sucker punch Jim Carrey in this scene. Jim must have been so happy about that, or James Marsden, probably like some kind of lifelong dream on his bucket list. Getting to sucker punch Jim Carrey in a Sonic the Hedgehog movie. Just gonna cross that off, I guess. So, Donut Lord, I'm just gonna keep calling him Donut Lord because it's gonna be hard to remember his name again. So anyway, Donut Lord and Sonic escape Robotnik, and we get a little chase scene of also them going into a little road trip. Because that was the whole, like, big premise for this Sonic the Hedgehog movie. Not going more into his world or anything, or exploring any other characters. Just a road trip movie. Like every other kid's film does. I feel like that's just on the agenda of Hollywood. Make a kid's movie, but somehow fit a road trip into the whole thing. Go figure for that. Oh yeah, it's the reason they're doing the road trip is because Sonic lost his bag of rings in San Francisco, and he needs James Marsden to go help him get it. So yeah, we basically get a whole couple of filler scenes, mostly one with Jim Carrey messing with his partner, Agent Stone. Sadly, no Snively or the two robots from the Sonic X series, or even the two robots from the Sonic Boom series, which I don't want to talk about that. Anyway, moving on from that, we also get a quick little bar scene that Sonic and James Marsden go into. Sorry, again, I'm going to call him Donut Lord, not by his character name, unless I'm talking about something completely unrelated. But anyway, yeah, the two go into a bar scene, and we get a little misunderstanding, basically, and Sonic being bad at darts. Yeah. Makes sense, I guess. And, surprisingly, we also get a little reference to a Quicksilver scene with everything going in slow motion and Sonic doing stuff, and Sonic liking chili dogs, as his character does from the Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog. Ugh. Just wrong. So wrong. And they basically escape and have kind of a little relationship thing going on, even though Donut Lord is basically with his wife. Not even going into that, I'm just gonna go away from that. And basically finds out that, you know, they have a little argument about Donut Lord leaving Green Hills because it's basically his home he needs to protect. But he wants to go into the big city to be a big time, you know, like, cop or something. And Eggman shows up for a second time. Remember him? He was in this movie. So yeah, it leads into actually a pretty cool scene with Sonic, you know, using his spin dash move, actually having the sound effect also, and knocking over the entire truck, and them basically escaping again. Oh yeah, it also leads into some arguing with Sonic and Donut Lord, but that gets resolved quickly as they basically make it to San Francisco in a pretty short amount of time, minus all that filler stuff that we saw in earlier scenes, and things don't go too well with Donut Lord's wife, who's, by the way, is named Maddie in this, and also Sonic's old shoes that he's been wearing in the whole thing. They get changed out for Nikes that are supposed to resemble his actual shoes in the games, without the little gold buckle thing on there. So that's a drag from the movie. Yeah. And Eggman shows up for the third time. Sorry, Robotnik. Fun fact, there is a bit in this movie before the final battle starts where Sonic does call him Eggman, and he's kind of in a red tracksuit that's supposed to, like, resemble his outfit from the game. Not very well done, but, you know, something like that. Speaking of the final battle, we basically get a whole scene where Sonic is running through the city, running from Eggman, or mostly running. Mostly just running from him. And again, apologize, but you know, I'm just going to call him Eggman for the rest of this because I keep saying it. Because that's his name now! Makes sense, I guess. Oh yeah, there was also a bit at the beginning where Sonic did the whole, you want to know how I got here into this situation? Which is such a 2004 reference and a joke that I don't think it even needs to be in this movie. So yeah, Sonic is running on the Great Wall of China, running in different dimensions, and ends up back in Green Hills for a while. Oh yeah, and he also set Maddie and Donut Lord to a farm, which conveniently is next to Green Hills. Interdimensional ring portals are very confusing. Very, very confusing. So the final battle happens, and Sonic gets his super speed power. It's supposed to be like a power-up. It's supposed to be like Supersonic, but without the Chaos Emeralds. It all has something to do with Sonic's quill that Eggman got. It does some weird lightning streaks. It never makes any sense, but it's kind of a cool power-up. So, with all that, Sonic defeats Robotnik, sends him to the Mushroom Planet for some reason, of course, to tease sequel bait, even though we're actually getting a sequel. And funny story, in that bit, for some reason, Jim Carrey's voice almost turns into Eggman's voice from the Sonic X anime. Yeah, kind of weird, I guess. And sadly, without Sonic basically wanting to go home, he just decides to stay in Green Hills forever with his new family and friends and whatnot, and they have a great time. Until a mysterious ring portal opens up and reveals Tails, of all people! Surprisingly voiced by the still current Tails voice actor. I believe from Sonic Boom and from the later games, which I was excited that they actually kept the current voice for him. I thought they were going to get some random celebrity to voice him. Which, by the way, was a petition for having Tom Holland voice Tails in the next movie. Yeah, I don't think that's going to work. Thus, the movie ending on a sort of happy note that Tails is going to find Sonic, hopefully in the sequel. Well, anyway, guys, that was Sonic the Hedgehog 2019. And also, I want to reiterate what I said at the beginning. It actually came out at the end of 2019. So I guess it makes sense why they would market it as a 2020 film, basically. So there's some confusion lifted there. So, what do I think of this movie? Well, despite the mixed reviews that I've heard people getting, I actually do enjoy this movie. Yes, surprisingly, I enjoy a Sonic the Hedgehog adaptation that feels more like a kid's movie than an actual Sonic movie. Let me reiterate that and talk about that. Yeah, while this movie doesn't really follow with the games, I still actually kind of enjoy it. Let me get the good things out of the way, minus the bad things, because I think there's only a few that I want to talk about. The good things I want to talk about is Sonic's design in this movie. I really like that Paramount actually listened to the fans after the first trailer debacle and how many dislikes that first trailer got, by the way. It's a big whopping, like, in the thousands, I think. Not in the 9,000s, of course. So yeah, over 9,000 joke, that kind of thing. But yeah, while they kind of gave him the same arms as his blue fur, which was also a thing in Sonic Boom, when everyone knows he has peach arms like his belly fur and everything, I still like the fact that Paramount actually listened to the fans and went with the Sonic design. Not a realistic hedgehog, because that would have just made things worse. It actually would have given a worse rating than I was going to give this movie. And surprisingly, I do like some of the jokes in this movie, mostly from both Sonic and Eggman in this movie, because they both have good chemistry together as villain and hero. And some of the characters I do like. James Marsden, while he's been in bad movies before, this one, not too bad of a performance. Most of the other minor characters are there. They're just okay for the most part. But yeah, that's mostly the good stuff I want to say about the movie. The bad stuff, the jokes really don't land for me. And it's a kid's movie, yeah, so that makes sense. It's going to be like kid-friendly humor and stuff like that. But again, it's kind of a minor thing. And the references pile up a lot in this movie. There's also a GIF someone made, or GIF basically, of Sonic doing the, default Fortnite dance, basically. Or whatever the dance is called. You guys can let me know in the comment section down below what it's called. Something like that. The inclusion of showing Tails at the end of it was what really got me, hyped to see a sequel for this movie. Which, thankfully, we will get. But, either... something like that. Sorry, I needed to be less confused about that. So, what do I give Sonic the Hedgehog 2019? Or just the Sonic live-action movie? Well, I'm going to be fair and actually give it an 8 out of 10. While it doesn't really follow along with the game's storyline, except mostly the beginning part where we do see Green Hill Zone, and by the way, it looks amazing. It just looks awesome. And seeing some minor characters from the Sonic universe in it, mostly being a big road trip film, I actually still enjoy it, and I highly recommend you guys check it out. It's a fun little movie for the kiddies and for Sonic fans alike, like me, basically, and anyone out there who's watching this who's a big, big Sonic the Hedgehog fan. So yeah, that's the review, guys. Anyway, with that being said, thank you all for watching this video. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and click that notification bell to never miss a video. Also, before I do end off this video, I want to give a quick little announcement. I will be going back to doing some old reaction stuff. Sorry, I had to cough there for a second. But yeah, I will be going back to some old reaction stuff, namely SML stuff, so Super Mario Logan. And yeah, I know about the whole Nintendo suing thing and how they had to get rid of the plushies in favor of the characters being human puppets and all that, which is alright. But of course, let me know in the comment section of this video which SML videos you want to see me react to, and I will try my best to get to them. Like I said, because I'm now doing 2 to 3 videos, or trying to attempt to do 2 to 3 videos a week, basically, something like that. But anyway, I will see all you awesome guys later. Bye-bye!